Hello my friends. I want to do this video on the great lymphatic system. If you do not understand your lymphatic system, you will not understand anything of what the medical doctors loosely call diseases. Medical doctors blame all a man's suffering, all the pain, all the swelling, all the tumors, all the cysts, all the fibromyalgia, all the lupus, all of these things they blame on ticks, they blame on Epstein-Barr viruses, they love to blame the pathogens or the little microbes of bacteria. The problem with it, nothing could be further from the truth. This is the problem. They're riding a wagon down the wrong road, and that road is dark. There's no answers. There's no answers to the questions down that road, and everybody ends up getting hurt or dying going down that road. Nobody walks out of medical treatment with a robust sense of vitality and health, because that's not their gig. That's not what they do. And I thought the lack of understanding of the body's major fluid and focusing on the minor fluid, the blood, is very inappropriate for any type of health understanding, because 99% of man's suffering has nothing whatsoever to do with the blood and has everything to do with the lymphatic system. So let's go over the body's lymphatic system, because it's real easy to understand that system. The theory allopathically doesn't fit if you understand the body's lymph system and you start watching it work properly. When you get it fixed, you will start to confirm and see all these things we're going to talk about here. So if you stop and think about the human body for a minute, the human body is simply just a bunch of cells. 100 trillion cells roughly comprise the human body, head to toe. So if I'm looking at your liver, I'm just looking at a bunch of cells. If I'm looking at your heart, I'm looking at a bunch of cells. If it's a female, I'm looking at the ovaries or the uterus or the cervix. What am I looking at? A bunch of cells. If I look at a man's prostate, testicles, bunch of cells. If I look at your muscles, if I look at your bones, bunch of cells. If I look at your brain, bunch of cells. How about your skin? Bunch of cells. So the human body is comprised roughly of 100 trillion cells. So the buck stops at the cell, because everything you experience in the human body is because of cells. Whether they're producing your hormones that make things happen, your steroids that make things happen, your neurotransmitters which turn on the nervous systems, all these things make everything happen. So your endocrine glands in the human body are really the bosses. They're the best government that you ever had, because this government helps all the people by what they produce, and everybody works together. So the buck stops really at the cell. So if we took the body apart and we said, okay, wow, everything's a bunch of cells, what else is in there? Well, two major fluids. There are two major fluids that flow around all the cells. These two major fluids are called interstitial fluids, which simply means fluids that flow around the cells. Right? Now, that comprises the predominance of the human body. Outside of that, you have some bacterium, which is essential. Every septic system I know of has bacteria in it, and you would never kill the bacteria in your septic tank. You do that, and you're in trouble, and we'll go over that here in a minute. People have some viruses. Get rid of them. They're easy. They're proteins. They're not little single-celled organisms. They're like antigens. Their job is to bond, if you will, to the weaker cells to create immune response. Now, we got some protozoa. Some people have worms and flukes. Okay, clean these out of the body, not difficult. And there's some chemistry in the body. But outside of that, the predominance of the human body is simply just cells and two major fluids. And these two major fluids, of course, their job is to take care of the health of the cells. Creation is more or less a consumption and elimination activities. Every cell in your body just about eats and eliminates as well. So we find that we have two separate issues that we have to deal with. The eating, or the consuming of nutrition, but then also the eliminating of waste. Because some people don't stop and think that the reason why you eat is to feed 100 trillion cells. Every cell in your body requires carbon, which is sugar, and oxygen. That is the requirement of most vertebrates on this planet, is to have some, and our particular species, the Homo sapien, is exclusively fruits and vegetable eaters. Herbivores, exclusively vegetarians. We're frugivores, so our diet should be exclusively fruits and berries, and maybe some melons. Hard for vegetables, even for the Homo sapien, but we can tolerate them. But nothing else. But as vital as it is to eat, it is also vital to eliminate waste. And if you've had a little baby in your life, you have two things that you must do to that baby for that baby to be well. You must feed them, but you must also change the diaper, because he who shall eat shall also eliminate waste. And this is also true at 100 trillion cells. If you look at the body, you have basically two major kind of waste and one sub-major kind of waste. The major waste, one of the major wastes in the human body is digestive waste. That's obvious. That goes out the stool, goes out the colon. That's digestive waste. What about cellular waste? What about waste from 100 trillion cells? What happens? So you must understand that there's another channel for eliminating cellular waste. So let's look at the great lymphatic system, because when we look in the body and we cut a piece of liver tissue off and we put it under a microscope and we throw it up on the wall, what do we see? We see a bunch of cells and two major fluids. One of the major fluids is moving fairly quick. That's the blood. Now the blood only comprises 1/4 of this fluid. Only 1/4 of the fluid, and medical doctors are fixated on that fluid? Are we really? What's 3/4 of interstitial fluids? That's right. That's your lymph fluids. Your lymph fluids is your thicker lipid-based, probably cholesterol-based, lipid-based fluid. It's a thicker mucousy fluid. The mucosa that lines your mouth, your sinuses, lines the whole body, the gut, the lungs, the bronchi. All that mucosa is part of your lymph system. Your lymph system is the body's gigantic sewer system / main immune system. Even your blood dumps into the lymph system what it doesn't want. The blood must keep itself clean. It's the pizza delivery guy. It's the guy that brings on the goodies. The lymph takes any damaged cells. The lymph takes all the waste from cells and carries them to the lymph vessels. Now we have blood vessels, but no one's ever talked to you about your lymph vessels. And your lymph vessels simply are the sewer pipes in the human body that carry waste from the cells to the little chambers where these wastes are acted upon. So your body does the same thing, from the cells to the lymph vessels to the body's septic tanks. And you've got hundreds and hundreds of septic tanks in your body. My house only has one. And the septic tanks in your body, of course, are called lymph nodes. And your lymph nodes are full of immune cells to take care of any damaged cells and bacteria. Now, what is the role of bacteria? To break down sewage? Same sewage in your septic tank as in your body? Absolutely. From the lymph nodes, medical doctors believe you reabsorb waste back into the venous system. They don't even consider lymph nodes as a big deal. They soon cut out your tonsils or adenoids or appendix or any lymph node you want. Just cut it. If it's swollen, cut it out. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's say that you got up in the morning, you use the toilet, you flush the toilet, and pretty soon you go, oh my God, this is backing up in my house. Something's blocked. So you call a septic man out. He comes out and he says, well, sir, your septic tank's full out there. Going to have to remove it. Well, don't I need a septic tank, sir? No, sir. No, we can get that right out of there for you. Well, okay. So what if my septic tank was full and I had it removed instead of simply cleaned out? I had it removed, but I kept using and flushing the toilet in the house. Think that'd be a bit of a problem for me in the house? Absolutely. Well, when you take a lymph node out, you got cells on the other side of that lymph node dumping their waste to that lymph node. What happens to that? Well, in many cases, the word was lymphedema, meaning your lymph system backed up, your sewer system backed up. So you never remove lymph nodes, you simply clean them out. And if you have a cancer cell in the lymph nodes, where else would you want the body to take these cells? Got any idea? You want to throw them in the blood, something like that? You know, that's obvious. That's your system that cleans you. That's your immune system. That's the system that helps the body keep clean. Just remember that. This is a vital system that's 3/4 of interstitial fluids. 3/4 of the fluids that flow around all your cells is your lymphatic fluids. Now, from the lymph nodes, where does your waste go? Not back into the blood system. You can convert some of this chemistry, but most of it has to be eliminated to the outside world. Where do you think your body does that? You have 3 kidneys that are the main eliminative organs of cellular waste, not your stool, your kidneys. Your right kidney drains your right head, your right arm, your right breast or chest, your right hip, your right knee, your right leg, your right ovary, your right testicle, part of the uterus. Your left does the same thing. Well, wait a minute. I said 3 kidneys. 3 kidneys. Oh, forgot one. The skin. This is your largest kidney. It's wrapped all the way around you. What do you sweat for? What would be the value of a fever? This is simple stuff that medical doctors should be taught and should know. And you're going to these people that don't know this? That's scary. Because I spent a lot of years in emergency rooms, and all I saw with American medical doctors, stopping fevers, giving antibiotics. So instead of letting the sewage come out of the person, they kill the bacteria that's eating on it, they break the fever, they stop the body from eliminating its sewage. With the kidneys, they must filter these cellular wastes. And there's a couple of glands, one on each top of each kidney, called the adrenal glands. They control the kidney. And when the adrenals are down, the kidneys are down. And it probably started the other way with all these high-protein diets, which are known to damage the kidneys. And then, of course, that broke down the lymph system, and that backed up into the adrenals, and now we have so much adrenal problems. The adrenal glands are unbelievable to you. They run your autonomic nervous system. That's all your neurotransmitters. They also neurologically affect your elimination from stool to urine. Just in the beginning of this, I was dressing a lady that thought it would be okay to take corticosteroids in terms of pharmaceutical steroids because that would heal the adrenal glands. No doctor on this planet believes that. If he does, he should turn in his license, because most doctors at every level know that it has the opposite effect. It weakens the adrenal gland. That's why you don't keep people on steroids long. This is why a lot of veterinarians won't even give steroids to animals, because it shuts down their adrenal glands. What's the wisdom in that? There is none. The wisdom is making the adrenal glands healthy again. So understanding this gigantic lymph system is in your body is vital. So pretty easy, right? So far, your body's just a bunch of cells, 2 major fluids. One's blood, which is only 1/4 of this interstitial or fluid that flows around the cell, and 3/4 is the lymphatic fluids that flow around the cells. Vital to understand that, right? The kidneys, the 3 kidneys, are the eliminative organs of cellular waste, not digestive waste. Very little cellular waste go through the colon. Even the colon dumps its waste through the kidney. When you pee in a jar and your urine is clear to a little yellow to maybe amber, okay, no problems. It doesn't matter what color when you're detoxifying. But if your urine is clear, there's no sediment in the urine, there's no mucus threads in the urine, you're not filtering your lymph system. Remember, your urine should have chemistry in it. For males that pee in a toilet, your urine should head toward the bottom of the toilet. It should be more dense than the water, because you have sewage in it. And so, important to check your urine once in a while and make sure you have sediment in it. You'll only know whether one kidney's filtering, but at least somebody's filtering. If your urine is clear, forget it. You're not filtering your lymph system anymore. And that's when you start having symptoms of pain, swelling. Pain and swelling are some of the symptoms of the lymph system backing up. Now let's go one step further, and I think this is vital that everyone understand this next step, because it is also simple to understand, but vital to understand, because this is the core of basically all life in creation, and of course particularly relative to you on this planet right now. From a perspective of a chemist, all life is nothing but chemistry. And chemistry, all these chemical compounds, are all made from the elements. And we call the elements because those are the building blocks of all creation. How many sides are there to chemistry? Of all these thousands and thousands of compounds and probably hundreds of elements, how many sides can we divide this up into? And that is simply two. Two. Now, the nature of these two sides of chemistry is vital to understand. The two sides of chemistry can be paired or can be compared to male and female. To make it simple, male chemistry is referred to as corrosive chemistry in chemistry. And of course, the name of male chemistry is acids. Acids are the corrosive side of nature. Very aggressive. The main side, or predominant side of chemistry on this planet is called base chemistry, or another word that's highly used is alkaline chemistry. The base or alkaline side of chemistry is the female healing side of chemistry, and this was very important because your blood is predominantly base chemistry. 7.4 is the pH of blood, or should be, because your blood can't be acidic without killing you. That's simple. For some reason, medical doctors think protein is the cat's meow, and the body can't even use it. So what we have is a recommendation of high acid foods in life. Grains, beans, meats, cooked dairy products, all these are highly acidic foods into a blood that is supposed to be alkaline. You can imagine that doesn't make the blood very happy. Matter of fact, the blood's shocked. Oh my God. But the blood can steal something. The body can take calcium out of the walls of your arteries, out of the walls of your veins, out of your fingernails, out of your bones. But particularly out of the walls when it's your blood, it'll steal them out of the walls of your vascular system. And guess what your symptom's going to be then? Bruising easy, varicose veins, spider veins, hemorrhoids, brittle fingernails, osteoporosis, scoliosis. You can just keep going right down along like connective tissue weaknesses. Everything starts bulging, herniations from aneurysms, go right on down the road. The body's stealing from its structure to fight acids. Because in this world, in this planet, if acids win, you lose. So now you're getting a good understanding that acid side of chemistry, not necessarily our friend, we need it. Your body produces a few acids. Hydrochloric acid, that's stomach acid, and it's needed to release pepsin because your body cannot use protein. Your body can only use what proteins are made of, and that's called amino acids. You get plenty of amino acids in fruits and vegetables. All the strongest animals in the world do not eat protein. Notice that? Your primate families, very few do protein whatsoever, and that's only where they're trapped and are forced to. So your primate family and your herbivores, your elephants, your horses, and your cows, some of the strongest animals on this planet. Note lacking endurance, we use them for their power, and of course, very intelligent beings. And they don't eat any meat at all, no protein at all. What's that? And our species fits right in with the frugivorous species. So this concept of protein, I could go over that for hours, holds no water whatsoever, and only serves to break down the human body. There's been one study after another study through the years, and last year, Shepard Smith was saying there was a 30-year study, I believe, linking high-protein diets to colon cancer. What they're not looking at is that same damage to kidneys. So, what about your lymph fluid, though? Your blood has to be base chemistry, alkaline chemistry. Well, let's first establish a fact. Most cells, matter of fact, all of them I know of, eliminate waste. Got to. Essential. Because they're consuming. When you consume, you must eliminate, correct? So, cellular waste, what side of chemistry do you think most of them lie on? Absolutely. Acids. Acids are generally the byproducts of metabolism, respiration, all types of chemical interactions in the human body, outside of the human body, it's everywhere. Most of these byproducts are acids. That's why you can't have several pounds of acids being created at the cellular level or interstitially and eat acids foods at the same time. That's the man's problem, and he's going downhill on a fast-moving train. The genetics are about to kill us all. If I sit here and I'm talking to you and I'm working my muscle here, what am I creating? Lactic acid, right? Now, that's okay if what? If I can remove that acid. Is it my blood's job to remove that acid? What happens if the blood gets acidic? And you can't convert all acids to bases. That's stupid. Nope. You've got separate eliminative organs for that. You can see that when the skin gets backed up subcutaneously with acids. Eczema, psoriasis, all types of skin rashes. Absolutely. These are all acids. That's why it makes the skin red. What happens if you forget to change your baby's diaper in a timely manner? See a little rash on the bottom? How come? A urine rash? Where'd that come from? Acids. The same acids that are at the cellular level, but hopefully the bacteria in the lymph nodes took those 3 pH acids like phosphoric, carbonic, lactic acids and brought them up to about 6. It's far better to have a 6 pH acid hit your kidneys than a 3, because it's 3 pH acids that causes cancer. Cancer is just simply a damaged cell by acids. What acids damage cells? Any of them. Pick them. The acids don't differentiate. They don't say, oh, you're a good cell, I'm not going to touch you, I'll get this one over here. They're acids. And acids are acids, and they will always be acids. The only way to stop an acid is with base chemistry. You don't stop acids with an acid. When you come into an emergency room, whether by ambulance or you're walking in, most emergency room visits is acidosis. So we start an IV, we hang a bag of normal saline, or the guys, the EMTs did it in the ambulance, and they start running alkaline chemistry through your blood. Why? Because all trauma and all ER visits are dietary related or trauma. All acidosis. And of course we're going to start cooling you down. That's the same reason we use corticosteroids. Inflammation is acidosis. And we're going to give you steroids to back down that inflammation. Not the right way, but certainly in a stat situation, may be possible. It should, especially spinal cord stuff, so you don't damage tissue. The big issue is your lymph system's got to pull those acids out of there, not your blood. Your blood doesn't clean up the mess. Your lymph system cleans up the mess. Your lymph system is the janitor, and that cleans up the mess, not the blood. Your blood is simply the kitchen, bringing home the goodies. But your lymph must clean up all trauma, all tissue, all mess. So it's important that you understand acids and the vital need of the body to remove them. That's why the lymph system is a thicker, mucousy, lipid-based fluid, because it deals with the acid side of chemistry. Now, the acid side of chemistry, it's like a little Pac-Man. But what it does, acids create what they call an anionic environment. An anionic environment is an environment of coagulation and dehydration. So this fluid has a tendency to get thick. You ever cough up a real big mucus plug and how thick that is? That's what happens to the lymph system in your body. It gets thickened, hardened. Some of these tumors get hard as a rock. What's a tumor? Pocket of fluid. What kind of fluid do you think you're going to find in a tumor? Same kind of fluid you're going to find in a boil or a pimple? Or how about a cyst? Absolutely. You only have 2 fluids in the human body primarily. What are those? Interstitial fluids, blood and lymph. Blood and lymph. The dominant fluid, a little water, okay. Blood and lymph dominates the human body, period. End of story. So, real important to understand the lymph system, because that's where 99% of all the problems, all the pain, all the swelling. I don't care what arthritis it is. I don't care what lupus, Lyme's. I mean, they lump these as autoimmune. What's autoimmune about any of those? Nothing. That's your sewer system. And so what if you get a viral? Your sewer system is a dump. It's your culturing medium. You have no culturing medium, you have no problem. You have no acidosis, you have no pain and swelling. Congestive heart failure, pulmonary edema. These are all lymphatic problems. Gangrene, lymphatic problems. Of course, it just happens to be the kidneys are at the core of the problem. And well, now we got the adrenals. So what do you see? All the diabetes. So now they blame diabetes causing kidney problems. Are you serious? It's the reverse. This is the problem. The problem's with the kidneys and the adrenals in the first place. That affects sugar metabolism. There's no such thing as diseases. If you want to empower yourself with knowledge, get rid of this idea and fallacy and concept of an illusion of diseases, because they don't exist. Everything is chemistry and physics in action, and you have cause and effect. So understanding this war between the two sides and what the body has to do to win, because if acids win, you lose. And you can name any condition there is out there, and you're going to always use the word acidosis. Acidosis, acidosis. So, real important to understand the gigantic lymph system and the role the kidneys and the skin play in the elimination of this, and that the adrenal glands are the controlling parties to the kidneys. And of course the thyroid controls how the fevers of the body and can control the elimination through the skin. So getting healthy is primarily focused on the lymph. Blood is easy. Just change your diet to fruits and veggies. You'll clean the blood, everything's good. But I got to go through the blood to get to the lymph. And vegetables are not good to get to the lymph. Only fruit and berries and melons are good to move lymph. And especially your subacid and acid fruits are the king of moving lymph. But you got to get the kidneys to filter, means you got to get your adrenals up. So we use herbs to help do that. We use herbs to pick up the adrenals. We use herbs to get the kidneys to filter. We use herbs to move the lymph. Getting well isn't taking one supplement. Getting well isn't taking a pharmaceutical. Getting well isn't taking something magic out there. Getting well is a process of unwinding what you created unknowingly, but what you created in your own body. So take time and understand this lymph system, and take a look at your lymphatic system, because it is the system that is protecting you, but it's also the system that's hurting you. You know, the ironic thing is most people die on their own wastes. And these are acids. And you'll learn to respect acids.